Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage, and today I'd like to have a little talk about my Patreon page. Now, before you all click away, let me just first start by saying I absolutely hate doing this. I really hate doing self-promotion, even more so if I'm asking for support or donations or money and things like that. It's something I absolutely detest. And this is from someone who spent many years working in retail, and I actually hated having to sell things to people. Always hated doing that. And I hate having to sell myself, but unfortunately it gets to a point where these things need to be done, and recently a lot more YouTubers are taking to Patreon, and quite recently a lot more YouTubers are actually making videos alerting their subscribers that they actually have a Patreon account, because not everybody is aware of what it is. So it's been no secret that I make money from my videos on the channel. Very little money because YouTube revenue is very, very low. But the problem is, over the last few years, the amount of money that the average YouTuber makes on their video has really, really decreased. To put things into perspective, about 3 years ago, when I was at the height of my Minecraft content, I had 1/8 of the subscribers that I have today and less than half of the monthly views, and I was still making about the same or more in ad revenue then as I am now. So I've increased my subscriber count by 8-fold, I've more than doubled my view count, but I'm making less ad revenue. Literally the money that I can make from YouTube on some months is less than $50. And when you consider on the average month I will upload at least 40 videos, which is a minimum of 16 hours recording time. That's not to mention the editing time, making the thumbnails, writing the descriptions, uploading the videos, setting them live. If it's a video like a tutorial, actually playing through, learning what I'm doing, sometimes even writing a script, reviews, previews, first impressions, they all take a little bit longer as well. It's quite a lot of work to put in for a $50 return. So that's where Patreon comes along. Now, it's not just the issue of the ad revenue being less than usual. This is also affected by the fact that many people use AdBlock. Now, I understand there are multiple reasons why people use AdBlock. Ads are annoying. I completely understand and appreciate that. Some people just don't like ads. Some people have bandwidth limitations and don't want their bandwidth wasted by the adverts. That is quite understandable. But there are also some people who just believe that people who make YouTube videos shouldn't make any money from them, and to be fair, people with that mindset, it's a little bit ignorant. If you're watching somebody's videos on YouTube, especially if you're watching them regularly, you must enjoy their content. Whether you're watching those videos for entertainment purposes, or whether you're watching those videos to learn something for educational purposes, you like those videos enough, or you value the information in those videos enough to go and watch them on a regular basis. You wouldn't go and watch a movie and not pay for it because you don't believe that the actors and the production company shouldn't receive any money for spending the time and resources to make that movie. So why should a YouTuber who spends at least 50 hours a week recording, editing and uploading videos not get any money at all for the time and effort they're putting into doing it? And to put it into perspective, on most channels, and I'll take mine as an example, the worst advert you're ever going to have to sit through is one of the 30-second unskippable ads. Now that is a 30-second advert. 30 seconds of the viewer's time is all it's going to cost to watch a video that's taken at least 30 minutes for me to create. It's not like I'm asking someone to pay to watch a video. I'm just asking, spend 30 seconds of your time watching an ad to watch a video that I've spent at least 30 minutes making. I can understand people not wanting to give YouTubers money if you had to pay a subscription to watch their channel, or if you had to pay to watch individual videos, but spending 30 seconds max watching an advert I think is actually quite reasonable. But for those people that use AdBlock, do consider, yes, ads are horrible, but please do consider whitelisting YouTube, just so that the people that you watch regularly can make a little bit of ad revenue from that. Now, as for the people that do have AdBlock, or maybe you live in a country where you just don't get served ads, and just for those people who maybe you do watch the ads but you want to try and help out a little bit more, I do have a Patreon account, and the link is on the screen now. Also, you can also, I've said also a lot of times there, but also the link is in the description below the video. So what is Patreon? Patreon is basically a website that has been created for artists, people who create things, whether it be music, videos, works of writing, YouTubers, anything that has a creative outlet. And it is a website where people can pledge to support you. Now, there's a couple of different ways it can be done. Some people have it set up where their Patreon supporters pay them per the video they produce or per the music track they produce. And you can set a maximum monthly cap of how much money you're willing to spend in any given month. The other method is a monthly one-off fee, which is how my Patreon account is set up. So let's say, for example, you went to my Patreon page and you decided to pledge the minimum, which is $1. That's $1 a month. So you could pledge $1, and that is an ongoing thing. So every month it will take $1 from your account. That's unless you cancel. If you want to pledge for 1 month, pledge $1 and then cancel the subscription after that, that's fine. Because believe it or not, if you actually pledge just a single dollar, that is probably more money than I would make from you if you watched every single video on my channel to date. And I have over 1,600 videos. So that's how little the adverts on YouTube videos are worth. Now, Patreon also gives the better cut to its creators. So once, let's say you pledge $1, some of that money is taken by Patreon as their fee. They take 5%. They also take between sort of 4 and 8% for card transaction fees. And then when I eventually pull the money out into a PayPal account, that then has I think it's a 2% transfer rate. At the end of the day, the creators get about 85% of the money that is pledged to them through Patreon. So that's much better than the way it works through YouTube, because on YouTube, whatever the advertisers have paid to Google, Google take 45%. That remaining 55% is then split between the content creator and their network if they have them. So it usually ends up with the content creator getting around about 45% or less of the money that's been put in. So Patreon is a much better way to make sure that your money gets directly to your content creator. Now, there are a number of different reward tiers on my Patreon account. Anybody who pledges the minimum of $1, you will get your name on the end slate that appears after every single video. There are some higher tier rewards, but a lot of it was just me putting rewards on there to try and think of things I could do to sort of pad it out. I honestly don't expect people to support me for, you know, $10, $15, $25 a month, although there have been some people that have done that, and I really do appreciate that. Now, I've actually got a couple of target goals set on my Patreon account, and for those who don't know the story, I've mentioned it a couple of times before. I actually gave up my career in retail about 4 years ago now to be a full-time carer for my disabled mother. So I don't have a full-time job, and what spare time I get, I actually spend making YouTube videos. And this is the reason why I have them monetized, because the amount of money you get from the government for looking after a disabled person is very, very low. It's not even a livable wage. And I don't make a livable wage from YouTube either. I make just enough money to just about feed, you know, just about to make ends meet. And I'd like to make a little bit more to be a bit more comfortable. So that is why I have a Patreon account for any of those who would like to help support me. I have a couple of goals on there. My first goal is to make $100 a month. I've come close to it a couple of times, but usually what happens is I'll get a few new patrons, and then at the end of the month, I'll get a couple leave. So it always seems to bob around the same sort of number. It's been around about the $70 mark for quite some time now. And as much as I hate advertising this, as I said at the start of the video, and this is the reason why I actually just put the link to Patreon on the end slate in the hope that I wouldn't have to advertise it, telling people about it is quite effective. Every time I make one of these videos and say, hey look, I have a Patreon account, I usually get 1 or 2 people who go and subscribe, even if it's just $1 or $2. And believe it or not, that makes a really big difference. So once again, if you can't afford to support me on Patreon, I completely understand. Been in that position before, pretty much in that position now. If you don't want to support me on Patreon and you're just watching the ads, that's fine. I can completely understand that as well. And if you're one of those people that just uses AdBlock and doesn't want to support somebody on Patreon, I understand that, but please do be considerate, and please consider whitelisting YouTube on your ad block so that the content creators can at least get a little bit of revenue. So thanks a lot guys for listening to me prattle on. I'll see you on the next video, and until then, goodbye for now.